So I've gotten quite a lot of requests to do a video like this. I've posted my story on a lot of different groups and stuff and have been asked so many questions that I can't keep up with them often, and also a lot of repeating questions. So I thought it might be easier just to go through what a lot of the questions are and answer them, so I don't have to keep answering them. I can just give you a video that might help you out. I've had a lot of people ask me kind of what I've done, if I've taken something, if I've done anything special, a special pill, a special drink, a special eating plan, or something like that. And the answer is no, I've not done any of those, not necessarily a special eating plan. I have done mostly keto type eating, and the whole kind of story is that when I started, I didn't know what I was doing, and I still often don't know what I'm doing. I'm not like a healthcare provider. I'm not a doctor. I don't have all the answers. I just have read a lot and watched a lot of videos and listened to a lot of information that I found online and tried to see what works for me, because stuff that works for me sometimes doesn't work for other people, and vice versa. So I did keto for about 8 months, and I lost 67 pounds and 45 inches. And then I stopped doing it for about 6 months, and then I started up again, and I lost another 36 pounds and another 22 inches in 3 months. So that is a total of 103 pounds and 67 inches, I think. Yeah. So the first 8 months, I didn't do really much exercising. I kind of just wanted to see what food changes would do by themselves, because I've done a lot of things in the history of attempting to lose weight over the years, but I just wanted to see what food changes would do alone, and so that's what I did. A lot of tools that I used were Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, Google, Facebook groups, that kind of stuff. That's where I got a lot of great information. And I may link some of my favorite YouTube channels that I follow. And I get a lot of these repeating questions, so I'm just gonna kind of answer them how I would answer if I was just talking to you. And I'm looking at my little list, so if I keep looking off to the side, that would be why. Okay, so keto, it's fairly easy. Not everybody agrees with keto or loving it or not loving it. That's not what I'm here about. It has worked for me. Hopefully I won't get interrupted too much. I think that it's easy because it's fairly affordable and accessible and available. So I shop at Walmart, Aldi, Amazon, Thrive Market, and then some of our local health food stores or local bulk food stores. One of the places that I started was on Pinterest. I found a list breaking down what keto foods are, and they were divided by fats, carbs, and proteins. So, it had the word fat, and then it had a list of things that were considered, good fats for keto. Same for proteins and carbs. So I looked on that list and I found things that I already liked, and that's where I started, because I figure I don't want to make a bunch of food I don't like, or I'm not sure if I like, and then I don't like it, and then I quit. Just like everything else, I quit this diet, So I started with that. I found the list of things that I already liked or already ate, and from that list I figured out recipes that I liked to make from that list, or that were almost keto or could be tweaked a little bit to be keto. Just by adjusting it a little bit would make it work for me. And then I also started a Pinterest board for just keto foods, and I divided it up by sweets, by, you know, like mock bread type stuff, by meals, soups, drinks, different stuff like that. I divided it up so I could easily find it. So that's kind of where I began. Another big thing that's been helpful for me is finding shortcuts for food. So I've done the whole thing where you meal prep all these great containers and they look beautiful in pictures, and you do salads. And so I would have a whole fridge of like prepped salads and fish and broccoli, and I'd have it all prepped for my week. And then I would get to Friday and I would have like 3 or 4 of these left because I wasn't hungry for salad and fish and broccoli that week. And so I would often fail, or I would be like, well, that doesn't sound good, so I'm gonna make something else, even if it was a better option. But I ended up wasting food because it was just sitting there. So I'm like, okay, meal prepping is not for me. This is not working. I'm not good at it. And I'm not using the things I'm making. So I decided to try batch cooking. If I was going to make meatloaf, then maybe I would make up enough meatloaf to make 2 of them, and I would cook one up and I'd freeze the other one. Or if I was gonna, you know, take a pound of ground beef and make it into taco meat, then I might cook up 3 pounds of ground beef instead of 1. Same with like chicken. Or if I'm doing hard-boiled eggs, instead of doing a handful of hard-boiled eggs, I'll do a whole dozen and put them in the fridge. So for me, I would cook up ground beef. So maybe I have a couple pounds of ground beef, and maybe I would take and do like a pound of it in a container and put it in the freezer. So it's already cooked, and I can just throw it in a soup, or I could throw it into spaghetti sauce, or I can throw it into something that's already cooking and it's already cooked and it just reheats. And the other one would be just to leave the meat naked. So I would cook it, but I wouldn't put anything on it. That way I could customize it to how I was feeling that day or for the next couple days. I would have like ground beef in the fridge, and I could sprinkle taco seasoning on it and have tacos. Or I could put it in sauce, like tomato sauce or pasta sauce, with mushrooms and onion, and have it be spaghetti sauce. Or I could sprinkle it on a pizza, or I could sprinkle some in a breakfast burrito, or I could throw it with mushrooms and onions and garlic and cream cheese and heavy cream and make it like beef stroganoff. So all of those things, it's the same ground beef, but I just make it how I'm feeling. And I'm not stuck with, you know, a pound or 2 pounds of taco meat that I'm like, I'm tired of taco meat by the end of the week. So I would do that with ground beef. And then I also would do with chicken, where I would shred it up and leave it kind of blank. And I could make it into tacos or fajitas. I could sprinkle some on a salad. I could put mayonnaise and pickles and mustard and whatever else and make it into chicken salad and have it that way. So for me, I just like trying to find like shortcuts or quick ways to have different foods. Some things that I kind of keep on hand for myself that's quick and I can grab it and go is like string cheese, pickles, hard-boiled eggs, like fat bombs. Like I can make like peanut butter chocolate ones, kind of like peanut butter cups. And I also usually keep some sort of low carb wrap with some sort of like a lunch meat type thing and cheese. That way, if I needed to make a quick wrap, I could do that and be done in no time. So that's kind of like shortcuts for food that I do. I just do it that way because it works for me. If you want to prep really pretty meal containers, that's awesome. But I do not want to do that. It didn't work for me and I didn't succeed. So I stopped. For eating out, a lot of people assume like, oh, you're on a diet, so I guess you can't go out to eat with us. Most places you can find something. I don't prefer to eat out all the time on keto type stuff because I don't know what they're putting in my food. I don't know what other things they're mixing in with it, and I can't control it. But like, I'm always game for a great steak steak and broccoli. You can get wings, you can get burgers, salads, chicken, green beans, omelets, eggs, bacon, sausage, all of those things you could do. I just make sure there's no buns, no rolls. I ask for dressing on the side, stuff like that. You can find ways to eat out and not feel like you're being deprived, because that's been one of my biggest reasons why I would fail in the past, is because I would have to deprive myself and not be able to socialize with my friends and go out to eat because I was on a specific really hardcore diet or something. And so this way has been significantly easier for me to find things. For Starbucks, if you like coffee, there's plenty of ways that you can get coffees or teas customized really simply. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be that annoying person at the drive-thru, but you can customize it in ways that will fit. I think another big tip I would have is for you to figure out what your macros are. I will link a website that I use, and it just asks like your height, your weight, your goals, how active you are. But what I would suggest is that every 20 to 30 pounds you lose, that you redo it, because I didn't think about that for the longest time, and I lost like 70 pounds and I was still eating the same amount of calories and macro percentages, and I didn't even think about the fact that I'd lost all that weight and that it might change. So make sure you adjust that every so often, because your calorie allotment will change the smaller that you get. So I hope that helps, and I hope it gives you a place to start and gives you some tools that are useful as you're starting your journey. And I'm available to answer additional questions, but I hope this kind of gives you a good starting point to go from, and I hope that you see lots and lots of success. Thanks.